Here you'll drag and drop the AI file in the projects panel. Here you will select each vector layer, then select create shapes from vector layer. From here you'll control the vector nodes once you select the new layers that were created in After Effects. You will open up the content below that layer, open up paths, or until you get to paths, put the timeline where you want the animation to start. So in other words, where the infinity symbol is an infinity symbol. Then you want to create a keyframe right there for paths 1 and paths 2. Paths 1 is the inner vector of the infinity morph or the infinity shape, and path 2 is the outer vector of the infinity shape. Here you could see in path 1 and path 2 I created 2 keyframes. Then I moved the timeline further down the time where I want the animation to complete. Here is where I select keyframes when my animation is complete. I haven't done that yet. As you could see, the 4 shapes in the foreground, the shapes in the foreground, I have given them less opacity so that way I could see the circle behind them. Here's another view. As you can see, by setting the opacity at 50%, I'm able to adjust one shape to the shape I want it to be animated to more accurately. Don't pay attention to the time or keyframes I created in the timeline. I deleted those later. Focus on the shape in the viewer. As you could see, I created more nodes with the pen tool to allow me to make more accurate animations. So I placed my timeline where I want the animation to end in the timeline panel, and then I started making adjustments to the shapes in the foreground to look more like the circle I want them to animate into. Now we should focus on the timeline panel. You could see I have 4 keyframes. Both representing the outer and inner paths. What the shape will look like before the animation keyframed, and what the shape is going to look like after the animation. And that is about 3 seconds, which was noted in the notes you gave me. Once you are complete animating all the shapes, you will move to the composition, then select add to render queue. Where the blue arrow is located, you're gonna save this file wherever you want to save it. Then by the red arrow, the lossless selection, select that. Now I'm not sure if you're using the version of After Effects CS6, that's what version I'm using, but I have to assume that you have a QuickTime option. If you do, by the red arrow, that's where you would select QuickTime, and then by the blue arrow, you would select the format options. Once format options is selected, you would go to the video codec, To the drop down, you would select PNG where the blue arrow is. Once you select OK in that panel, you would come back and select RGB plus alpha where the blue arrow is, right underneath where you selected for QuickTime in the video codec. After you select RGB plus alpha, you want to render out your GIF. Once it's rendered, you want to open up Photoshop, open up the folder where you saved it at, then you want to drag and drop that file into Photoshop. Once you drag it into Photoshop, you want to go to File, then Save to Web. Now, depending on what version of Photoshop you have, it may look different. I think you might have to go to Export As, and then it'll give you the option to save to web. Also, if you're unable to save it here, you may have to reduce the size of the image, which you would only have to cancel out of this, save to web, cancel out of that, then go to image, then change image size, reduce it to, it's kind of up to you. I had to keep reducing until it finally saved. Anyways, once you get past that part, where the red arrow is, you want to make sure that's set to GIF. Underneath selective, diffusion, make sure transparency is checked. Also, by the green arrow, make sure no transparency differ. The green arrow. The blue arrow, you want to make sure that is set to forever, and then save. You would save it to whatever folder you want to save. After rendering the GIF, I drag and drop it onto my preferred slide.